All right, good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome in to NFT Live on the Web3 Network. Thank you for showing up early and often today on a wonderful Tuesday as we get started every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard on the good side of the coast, the best side of the coast, some might say. I am sitting here with two West Coasters, though. That's unfortunate. Biggie Poppins and Gift Dead. What is going on, fellas? How are you doing today? I guess I'll start with Biggie. Biggie, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great, man. Started off great. I just saw that one of our community members has seen the light of day and is joining the Pixel side, man. Marty McFly, dude. I am so happy for you, Marty. Welcome. I'm just very curious if that's gonna turn the tide and maybe make my co-host brethren here join.
I could get involved with it. Honestly, I'd get peer pressured so bad just for having a blue tick on my group messages by my buddies. But you know what? That's not enough of an excuse for me not to be self-sovereign and secure in myself as a digital entrepreneur here, Biggie. So maybe we could have a conversation after the show. Gif, what are your thoughts?
Wait, what are we talking about? Pixel vault? Like what?
See, it's gonna be a rough road, Biggie.
Oh God. Still no. Not even Marty.
Moonbirds? Are we talking moonbirds?
Lord.
Gif, what is up, my man? Good job on hosting the show this morning. GM Web3 morning show every day, Monday through Thursday, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. How did you feel today's episode went, my brother? You also look like you're about to rob a bank.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. I wish it came all the way down in a ski mask. That'd be epic. Yeah, I mean, you know what they say, like 60% of the time we kill it every time over there on Twitter. And yeah, today was no exception. Like absolutely phenomenal show. We did have Dan Carr, CEO of Nifty Kit, come through and share more about what they're doing because we're also getting amped up and excited about Take the Throne Ultimate Giftathon, which is happening tomorrow. I feel like I have to do the Shia LaBeouf thing whenever I say Ultimate Giftathon. I feel like I have to get up and go, do it! Ultimate Giftathon!
With our power flowers here. We're going to do that every time.
Yeah, so anyway, we're hosting a really special event tomorrow on Twitter Spaces in partnership with Nifty Kit, and we're just getting amped up. We've got a whole wallet filled with amazing NFTs that we get to give away to the community, to people who show up, and we got some Nifty Kit creator passes. And so, yeah, we got to preview all that this morning. I'd love to pull that poster up here at some point and share that because our judges panel is absolutely stacked. Like we have the most amazing panel of judges, guest hosts that are going to come in for Take the Throne. Warhodl, Sarah Script, Jimena Buenavida, Nifty Q's on there, Jessica Trosky, Rebecca Rose, Cake Nygaard, myself, Dan Carr, execs from Nifty Kit. They're all going to be there. And if you want to pitch an idea, all you have to do is send Jessica Yatrovsky a 2-sentence concept. Like, what's your idea in 1 to 2 sentences? Her DMs are open. Jessica Yatrovsky, just DM her before the show tomorrow. And that's your way if you want to come in and get one of the ultimate prize packages. There will be a lot of giveaways for everybody who shows up and hangs out and has a good time. But to win the ultimate prize packages, you have to pitch. And that's it.
And what's the deal with the Nifty Kit mint passes, real quick? Break that down. Is there a giveaway for that?
Well, so we may be giving some away to the audience, but that's how you can win them. So the top 3 at least. I don't want to give away too many secrets here because last time we did Take the Throne, there were some special surprises for the people that hung out and that participated in the Take the Throne. What I can definitely say is that the top 3 winners who actually get up on stage, pitch an idea for a couple minutes, the top 3 that are voted on anonymously by our amazing panel of special guest judges, they will definitely win Nifty Kit creator passes. So
gotcha.
That's what I can say right now.
All right, folks. Sunrise and Sunset saying ultimate prize package. Say no more. We see you guys in the chat showing up early and often. I have a poll that I want to pull up here on the screen in just a second. But speaking of giveaways, I'm like trying to give away ApeCoin at this point. Like I'm literally trying to let it leave my wallet, and people just aren't vibing with it. I don't know why people are just tired of hearing about ApeCoin. Listen, I just linked it in the chat there. Just add a topic. NFT Cuties in here as well as one more. Nox Darkness is in here adding topics. So we will choose one community topic today to discuss at the end of the show, or kind of probably right in the middle, because we do have a Rate My Christmas to get to. It's going to be awesome. But we are going to touch on a community topic, and you will get $50 in ApeCoin. You're getting free money.
This is
For
crazy.
topping in a topic.
Like literally, all you have to do is say a project or a topic. People are silly.
In a bear market, $50 free for spending 5 seconds of your time, and we can't get it. I don't know what's up, man.
People be silly, you know. It's a silly world out there.
All right, we're gonna get started here with quick news in just a moment. Biggie, you got any updates? I know it's been just 24 hours since we talked to you last, but
No, man. I unplugged right after that, and it's been nice. That's all I can say. What's been going on? Hit me with it. I know we're touching upon Otherside and stuff like that.
Before we do, we have to comment as we do on Biggie's hat. The best hat game by far on NFT Live. Every day he has a stellar new piece of headwear. I thought I was doing something neat by switching it up today, but no, he again has some cool new hat. Data is greater than opinions. Yeah, fuck your feelings, right? That's what you're saying.
Pretty much. Yeah. I'm feeling your beanie as well, dude. Nameless is a cool company, man. Where'd you pick that one up?
ETH Denver. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were giving these out at ETH Denver.
Yeah, that's your boy Gary's V's NFT launchpad.
We can't go one episode without mentioning his name, can we?
My tongue. I just noticed my tongue's fucking blue from the pre-workout I was just smashing before this. But also, if you applied to ETH Denver, you might be getting your acceptance already. I just got my note last night. Biggie, did you get accepted?
Yeah, I did. I'm pumped about it, man.
Q. Fuck. Where you at?
Fuck.
Where you at, Q?
All right. You caught me on the road. I need to do the application.
Did you stake your spork,
bro?
Q?
I fucked up. I've been fucking up.
Sleeping, bro. I was
hitting him on a Capricorn,
telling him to do it.
All right, I know, GIF. I appreciate you hitting me up with that. I will fill out my application here shortly, guys.
It's gonna be great because it's finally in one place. You're not gonna have to be waddling like a penguin in the dead of winter, from one building to the other. It's gonna be awesome. We need you there, Q.
I'll be there. I just need to make sure that I'm going to be speaking there because, of course, everybody wants to hear what I've got to say. Right in the space, right, guys out there. No,
Q, I just dropped the link to the application. Pull it up. Let's do it right now. I want to see you do it.
It
takes 2 minutes. It takes 2 minutes, bro.
I will link that to anyone else. If you have anything cool to say on Web3 and NFTs and you're not coming on NFT Live, you could always go to ETH Denver. So I don't know which one's easier. Feels like hopping on NFT Live with us might be a little bit easier than that. Listen, we've got the chat pulled up. I want to touch on some community members getting after it here. Nifty Kit is actually in the house. So Dan from Nifty Kit, I don't know if that's Dan or if that's another team member, but we appreciate y'all showing up saying, yo, GM. The poll right now is gifted going to rob a bank at 88% yes. CryptoPhage is saying, yo, Sunrise to Sunset, our vibe, our tribe there, Sunrise, OG community member there, Prodigy, GM, Squash Man, Juliet. Thank you guys for showing up. And Mr. E, I think, was first. GM fam, happy holidays. What do you guys do for the holidays? Favorite foods for Xmas? It's funny you should say that, Mr. E. We do have an upcoming Rate My Bags Merry Christmas movie edition. This is gonna be awesome. First of all,
he was really proud of his Christmas tree decorating down there, and he just wants to show this off as many times as he can.
I worked on this for actually too long.
Yeah. What time did you get to bed last night? Yeah.
Not early enough because I never come in hot on GM Web3 anymore, apparently. So, guys, we're going to start on today's episode of NFT Live. I do not have the ChatGPT AI prompt for you today, so I'm just going to ask you to please leave a like on NFT Live today. It does help us get the word out, get out to new people. Right? Like we love you guys, but don't we want to grow this industry that's down 97% in the last 8 months? Like, don't we want that number to rise?
I feel like 97% is not nearly as far down as we've come at this point. I think I saw there was a stat that we were looking at yesterday, or I think it was actually Dan from Nifty Kid that pulled this stat out. There's only like 9,000 active wallets trading at all, like right now. So there's only 9,000 people actually in the space participating at all right now.
Are you counting Solana there?
Of us.
You're not counting Solana.
brethren.
I don't know.
All right, folks, we're going to get started. The main question today that we will get to, the main topic is going to be Otherside and Yuga Labs, more importantly, hiring a new CEO, replacing Nicole Muniz as CEO is going to be my man Daniel. Don't know his last name. It's let me make sure I get this for you guys. Daniel, come on, man. Why are we buried? Daniel Allegre is joining Yuga Labs as their new CEO. He is formerly the COO at Activision Blizzard. This is a big move for the space. We will touch on that later in the episode and discuss whether that means Yuga's going to be like the next World of Warcraft. Yuga's got a dub here, or is Yuga taking an L? I don't know.
This is an exciting one, but real quick, just to jump back to the few, the proud, the ones that are left, can we call ourselves the last of the Brohekins?
It's just gonna be me and you today, Biggie. That was too bad.
You just had to kick him out. Yeah, it's been much.
Come on, man. We're trying to. Aren't we trying to be inclusive here? Can't be last of the Brohekins.
Wait, women are bros too in the space. I thought that was the whole joke. Even there, they've latched on to the bro culture now. I thought that was.
That's fair. I guess that's a nice loophole there that we can get to. We have that community topic giveaway going on as well. If you want to hit the tweet, you can add a community topic, and we will get to that after the Yuga Labs piece. And then we've got a Rate My Bags Christmas movie edition. We got Die Hard coming through. Prodigy saying A Christmas Story is S tier. Elf is S tier all by itself. This is going to be a very controversial Rate My Bags. Not that all of them aren't. At all. So we will get to that here shortly, guys. You'll have to wait it out with us first as we talk the first quick news piece, which is going to be that BlockFi is moving forward here with some pieces here. This is just for the people that were caught up. BlockFi petitions bankruptcy court to let clients withdraw blocked assets. Now, this is important. Obviously, some people are affected personally here on the show with BlockFi. This is a good step for them. It's kind of the next step up on what they need to be doing in their Chapter 11 bankruptcy piece. Importantly, this is not for users in the interest-bearing accounts, which most people were. Not many people were like leaving their assets on BlockFi. Actually, if you were leaving your assets on BlockFi without gaining any interest, that's double stupid, because we're already stupid for having done the BlockFi piece with the interest. But if you were just leaving your assets there, I don't know what the hell you were doing, but
F's in the chat.
F's in the chat. But you do have a silver lining here. It looks like BlockFi is petitioning for you to get your money back. So, any comments on the no FTX rabbit hole, but BlockFi
who
are
they? Who
Don't
are they
hold your breath.
Yeah, like who are they petitioning to give the money back?
U.S. Bankruptcy Court.
Like, but are they taking it from SBF somehow? If they can ever find that money, like, where is it coming from?
No, I believe these. So again, I don't know if they were doing anything with those accounts. I think those were literally just custodied assets. I think they literally just had to pause everything when this FTX debacle went down. But the interest accounts are the ones that are locked.
Well, see, now don't you wish that you were dumb enough to be leaving it in there without any interest, Q?
Kind of. I mean, 2020 vision, Marty McFly saying I was making good interest, not that dumb. I feel kind of dumb. I feel kind of dumb. All right. We will get to the next piece of quick news. I'm going to try to keep quick news really, really quick here.
Actually quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna put the quick in quick news.
I'm trying. Listen, we're professionals. DogeCoin down 11% after Twitter poll says Elon Musk should leave. CEO post now. There's a lot to unpack here with Elon and Twitter. We've already been talking about them for a while, but DogeCoin down 11% on the news that maybe Elon is stepping down. Biggie, is Elon stepping down, and are you buying DogeCoin off Elon news here?
No. And no, man. I think he should not step down. I sincerely doubt he will be stepping down. And heck no, I'm not touching Dogecoin right now. But I am keeping my eye on it. You can never take off your gaze from that little dog. You never know.
Yeah, and so luckily I started trading some of my Doge a couple of days ago for ApeCoin. So, I still have a small bag of Doge, but actually about half of it I moved into ApeCoin. So maybe that was a good move. But the other interesting thing that came up this morning on GM Web3 about this is that apparently, he's been using these Twitter polls as like a governance mechanism, like actually saying like, hey, Twitter, what do you think? Should we do X, A, B, or C? And apparently they're going to make that a verified feature only, so that you can only participate in the governance if you're a verified Twitter user, which to me sounds like a fucking DAO. It's like token gating governance. It's like, hey, if you pay in or if you own, verification or your verification token on Twitter, then you get to help us, collectively govern. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. It's kind of like a DAO governance model without blockchain. But why wouldn't they add blockchain in? I don't know.
That's weird. Definitely weird. I mean, shouldn't he then step down first and prove that it's actually going to happen? Or
well, this is his loophole to get out of that, because now they're saying, oh, actually, the only people that should be voting on major decisions are the ones that have any incentive baked in.
Really, people still want to hold them accountable for that Twitter poll. I'm telling you, man, These people need to write shit in stone immediately. It's like, God, I swear.
Here's my thing: the objective viewers that are on neither side, which I like to try to find myself in. Like, I just want to view this not from I stand for Elon or I fucking hate Elon, because I think it muddles your vision. I feel like the objective people that are staying on the outside want to give this guy a chance. He's been there for a fucking month. And it's not like Twitter was really making good decisions prior to him getting there. If those two things were different, I would say, yeah, Elon, this was a bad move. He's been there for a month. Let the guy get his fucking feet under him. I think he causes these problems for himself. If he just didn't cause all this fucking ruckus, nobody would be coming out of the woodwork to try to flame him. But he shows up on his first day with a fucking sink. This guy cannot help himself. This guy cannot help himself. So, look, Twitter was not headed in the right direction, I think, before he got there. Jax clearly was not involved in a lot of the on-the-ground decisions based on the Twitter files leaks that we keep, getting. And I don't know if you guys have seen those. Have you read the Twitter files?
No. Please, give us the TLDR.
I haven't read them directly. I've been watching some of the fallout reactions.
Yeah, I would do that after this show, because if we're going to be talking about Elon and all this stuff, Twitter was essentially, so Jack was completely removed from any of the decision making, even about things as big as the Trump decision, like the January 6th stuff where they were kind of censoring some people, making sure some news outlets didn't get reported on, and all these things.
Plausible deniability.
They're basically leaked emails between team members internally. That's what these Twitter files leaks are, about different aspects that Twitter's been called out on over the years of censoring certain people. So essentially what happened was people internally at Twitter could make a request of certain team members about just and it literally happened that decentrally. It literally happened like a team member could ping the goddamn, what would they even call it, the censorship department at Twitter, and literally be like, hey, I don't think this should be in there. And like team members with bigger pull were able to get that pushed through, and it happened at that level.
I doubt they called it the censorship department.
They definitely did not, but I will call them that. So the Twitter, you guys should read this stuff, man. It basically happened where the inmates were running the prison, essentially.
I saw that. I did. Yeah, I read enough to see that. Yeah, I saw all that. That basically people were just in there making calls about this person should be able to say this, or this tweet should get throttled, or not. Didn't we already kind of know that was going on? Like, people were already talking about it. They were just denying it, but it seemed obvious that certain people were getting.
I think so. I mean, it was known that it was a poorly run ship, and there was all kinds of useless people working there in the first place. So I mean, yeah, I don't need to verify it. Also, it's just like, I'm glad he went in there. I'm hoping he cleared the rats out. And now he's gonna get to.
I do think it's good. I think it's good that it's out there, that we know that this shit's happening. I guess I'm just not that surprised about it.
Yeah.
But I do think it's good to have conclusive evidence of this is how this was working and what they were doing.
Yeah. It sucks because Jack, I believe, is a good steward of the ideals that we hold in Web3, but I think he was so removed from the company at that point, from the time that he created it to where we are today. Obviously he's not there anymore, but even when he was there, he was just not able to be in the trenches understanding what was happening.
It's a crazy idea. It's a crazy idea for a CEO or somebody as busy, who has as many big responsibilities as Elon Musk, to be getting into the weeds on who should be on the platform and who shouldn't, what tweets should be throttled or not allowed on the that type of shit should be delegated to other people. It shouldn't be the CEOs dealing with that. But of course, freedom of speech and censorship have now become really, really big hot topics on these platforms.
So I'm not gonna choose a topic right now. But one of the subjects was where are we going in Twitter Spaces? Does kind of pull the rug again? And it's Clubhouse. You were mentioning yesterday, GIF. Clubhouse is sitting there come on. Fuck up, we're right here.
Yes, Elon. Yes.
But we will move on to the next piece of quick news. This is getting kind of sad. Flow is in the news just at this point multiple times in a week. Just getting absolutely hammered with the FUD news here. NFT trading on Flow is on a decline. They mentioned NBA Top Shot as being the biggest detractor here. Keep in mind, this drastic decrease surprisingly occurred in the span of around 2 months. In December, the NFT trading volume was lower than the previous month's figure of 7.7. It looks like dropped from about 39 mil to 15.5 in volume in that 2 month span. Moreover, according to CryptoSlam, NBA Top Shot had its worst month in over 2 years, accumulating only 2.1 in market transactions. So they go on to talk about, Flow's still going to be around, which I agree with. I do think they're not on as shaky ground as Solana, something that had, I think, a dubious start with the way that it was created, with the VC narrative that we kind of know to be true on Solana. So it was very VC focused, very hyped focused. I think that, Flow is approaching it probably with a steadier foundation to get through the crypto winter. But not to wax poetic on Flow here, but I think that they'll be just fine. It does suck to see the lower volume, and they're paying for not establishing a strong, what you would probably call tokenomics, right? We touched on this yesterday with the supply demand issues they created themselves.
Yeah, at this point, we just have to go with the flow.
Oh,
damn! All right, we're just losing multiple people here on today's.
Done. You're done, kid. Yeah, I mean, when you look at NBA Top Shot during a horrible crypto winter, only doing 2.1 million in volume in a month, it's that doesn't sound all that bad. Actually, like when I was reading all this, I was actually expecting it to be a little bit worse. And if you look back at that, it looks like about 7 or 8 million in volume still in 1 month. Like, that's still a fair amount of volume. And I think to your point, like, I don't think Flow's done, but I do think that they don't have as much robust, as much of a robust economy as they probably should. So I don't know. It's obviously not, it's obviously not good news, but like, that's still a fair amount of volume in 1 month.
Mm-hmm. I want to look at like the holy bejesus. I also want to pull up a chart of like what the ecosystem looks like today, because I don't think a lot of people have gotten like truly in the weeds. It was kind of in that Polygon, that narrative of onboarding larger brands. So there are some larger entities here that we're looking to build on top of Flow. I think that will continue to exist, but it is shaky right now.
Well,
but I just don't think that's shaky.
One of the things, if I recall, with NBA Top Shot is that like the way that they like set up their assets, besides the fact that they diluted their own supply, which shook the faith that the collectors had in their product, was that there's no real ownership of them. Like you get a card of a video or something of a moment, but you don't actually own that moment. Like you don't get any utility with that outside of their ecosystem where you can just trade it.
Wait, what do you mean you don't own that moment?
I mean, for instance, with an ape, you own a piece of art, you own the IP, you share the IP, you get additional utility with that, access to their party. Like there's a bunch of other things that you own or you get that are unlocked
additional
with
utility.
that NFT. Yeah, so additional utility, but also actually like ownership. You would hope it's like, hey, if I own this digital collectible of this moment, like I can use this moment for other things. I can, license it or put it into other things. Like, no, you don't have any IP rights, any real ownership other than you just own a token within the Flow, Dapper Labs, NBA Top Shot ecosystem, which they can dilute however they want. So it's just like, you summed it up well when you said the tokenomics aren't great. And I think that, it's the utility, it's the product in general. I don't think it's that strong.
They never got to the point where, other than that initial hype cycle, that was what was so cool about NBA Top Shot. The NBA players were like out there talking about it, showing it off. Like that is gold. Like that was better than gold for NBA Top Shot. And then you kind of have to follow that up with like, let's bring in, developers, let's incentivize developers to make like a game on top of this stuff. Like that can add that additional utility. Yeah, what is
the value of owning one of these moments?
It's a collectible. It's a sports collectible.
But so that's it, right? It's like there's nothing else. And so then when you start diluting the supply in your own market, it's like, I can't even do anything other than sit here and watch it and then trade it again. You know what I mean? It's just like,
well, to be fair, I think the sports collectible card industry is pretty large, right? Like that's what they were trying to displace. Like people can't do anything with like a signed Emmitt Smith card. They just kind of keep it.
You can feel it. You can hang it up in your house. You can show it off in different ways. People aren't really doing that with NFT video clips yet. There's no real good display function for that. And like, I mean, you've got the infinite objects, but most people don't have those yet. So I don't know, man. And again, the thing with cards is that like, and to be fair, with NBA Top Shots, these moments, if Flow can hang around and they don't keep, fucking up their own product, they might be worth quite a bit in a few years. But the thing with cards again is that like you cannot go back and reprint a run from 5 years ago. You cannot go back and reprint a run from 10 years ago. So there's a finite supply, and they're
like maybe you could fractionalize it, but yeah.
Yeah, but people know like, hey, there's only 16 of this one rookie card that are in mint condition that exists in the world. That you know what I mean, and you can't just go fabricate or just add supply to that.
But again, like it's very similar to the wax situation, right? Trying to fit a square peg into a round hole kind of thing. Like you're trying to, and it was a good attempt, I think. Like, I mean, I participated in Top Shot, and I was really excited about like the UFC version of it. But in the end, yeah, I think the supply, the tokenomics were not there. It just didn't translate well, right? Like some stuff you just can't port over into Web3. Like just let them be physical trading cards. I think like if Flow will succeed, I can't see it being with this particular model. I think it's got a better shot going the metaverse and the artist collector route, you know, and building community, which I think like the people that are still in that ecosystem, that's I think where they're mostly dedicated. I mean, I'm sure the NFL and all these other sports, you know, handle a significant amount of whatever volume it has right now. But to me, I never really got into it that much, into the sports sector of it. So, and I do think it's that exact argument, right? It's like they were trying to bring in the collectible card gamers onto this space, and you know the best way they thought about doing so was with moments. But again, I don't know, like it just doesn't feel the same, right? And I feel like again, you can see that moment on YouTube, right? It's like, hey, I want to see these infamous dunks, but such player or whatever. I can put them on YouTube or whatever. Like owning them just doesn't have the same feeling as like the card itself, right? Where it just didn't translate.
I think you guys are both correct. It's like we have to get to a point in society where owning a highlight you can share in your man cave and be like, yo, that was when Nick Foles scored the touchdown against the Patriots on the Philly special. Like that's a dope thing to own physically in your house. Is imagine if you had a portrait, a digital portrait, where you're able to have that be an image or a video and have that be the highlight, and you actually own those. The problem, I mean, that's so complex though. From like where we need to get in society, where like my dad wants to own the time the Cowboys won the '95 Super Bowl, and like that's a scarce item, and all the, you know what I mean? Like it's all, we're just not there yet. They got close. Yeah, tough. All right. Other than this picture here, I did want to show the Crypto Slam if I still have it up. The top, and obviously this is like an outlier even when it occurred in its time, but in February of this year, they did $45 million in a single day. And now it's 3 million in a month. So mirroring the industry there for sure. The other thing was the current ecosystem. Let me see if I can get it. So, I mean, that gives you a little bit of a take. I know they were trying to do some stuff with genies. UFC, of course, was big, like the sports collectible piece. Dr. Seuss was supposed to be big. Go ahead, Biggie.
Yeah, the you know the platforms also they put in a significant amount, like with Vive and Versus. You know, they had a good run for a while. That one also KTN, more geared towards like the Asian market, and Sturdy Exchange. But again, yeah.
Vault by CNN, that's gone now. Yeah, Ronan was telling us about that. Squashman has a great comment. I think it encapsulates what we're talking about, but also takes it a step further, saying NBA Top Shot should have learned from the 80s and 90s physical collectible cards craze to avoid oversupply from the beginning. But it was very promising. That I wasn't collecting 80s and 90s sports cards. I would love to hear what actually went down there, and why Flow wasn't looking to that. I guess they were just trying to get the money while it was good.
That's what a lot of these platforms did, right? Like Nifty Gateway did this. A lot of them early on, they were just printing money, and they were just like, "Fuck it, let's YOLO, open edition." You know, new big project launches every single fucking day, because it was working. People were buying into everything.
Yep.
At the time, and yeah, I think they screwed themselves. To Marty's point, it's the short term mentality, man. It's such a killer, bro. Greed and short term mentality is like
it just
it's
seems
just
to be
so much of what people do in life.
I don't know how Dapper it worked for them. Let's be honest. It worked for them. At the end of the day, it was a successful product in its time, and they've been great innovators in the space, but they always go with this route. They always go this route. It's the reason why I was bringing up yesterday that the Super Yeti in my fucking wallet is worth more than all the 7 CryptoKitties that I own combined. That makes no sense, but that's the route Dapper goes every single time. People don't know about the Cheese Wizards. It's.
I know about Cheese Wizards.
You're OG if you know Cheese Wizards, and I already know Biggie's an OG, so I'm not saying that you're not an OG for not knowing
about Cheese Wizards.
I don't have a Cheese Wizard.
I swear to God,
I don't have a Cheese Wizard, but I know about it because we studied the game. They created a cool web game.
Let me try and find it real quick.
That was like an OG NFT game.
It had a lot of gamification in NFTs at the time. It wasn't like a World of Warcraft or like an FPS or anything like that. It was very much like a turn-based, turn-based browser game. Yeah. You would buy these Cheese Wizards, and it was essentially a rock paper scissors game. That if you won, your wizard got more powerful, and like everybody had to buy in. There was a buy-in ticket that you had to purchase in order to get in this ticket, and at the end of the tournament, it was like a 50-50 raffle, essentially. The winner got a shit ton of ETH, and also Dapper Labs got 50% of that. So at the time, it raised a fuck ton of money for Cheese Wizard. It says it right there, pre-sale volumes of over 500 ETH. That's nothing today, although that actually, that's still something. But at the time, that was gigantic at the time. So again, Dapper Labs doing a little bit with the gamification, being innovators, but also choosing to not give a fuck because they just left the platform. They were like, this is an experiment. We're moving on.
Learning experience.
Yeah, exactly. Like their holders don't win again.
They zagabonded all of us, the whole space. Yeah, but and the more you talk about it, it makes me less bullish on Flow, right? Because here's the like they have to pivot and figure out either new products or new tokenomics,
and they are trying, right?
New models.
I think one of them is like bringing DeFi, which is a bit ironic, to an NFT chain. But I know like there are some people trying to bring in DeFi into Flow, as well as the infamous EVM chain, right, which supposedly brings in a lot of these big players and draws liquidity, which we all know in the end is just mercenary capital, temporary, not long lasting. Again, I always go back to the same thing: community and like meaningful projects that drive like growth and value to the holders. So let's see, survival of the fittest. This, like, we're going into the winter right now, boys. Like, I think this is just the beginning. Let's see if they can pull it out.
This is just the beginning
of the bear. Hold on, I need a confirmation of the bear market. This is just the beginning of the bear.
I don't think. I think next year we're definitely going to see some more pain. I'm sorry to say.
I agree. I mean, I don't think we're close to coming out of it yet. I'm hoping that we're getting close to a bottom, but maybe we haven't even hit the bottom yet.
All right.
There's definitely people that think that we haven't hit the bottom yet. That's for sure.
Let's just hope we're wrong. But yeah, I'm still very cautious.
Y'all, if you've been watching the NFT lives for enough time here, and shout out to those who've been watching from the beginning, from those wax times that Biggie was mentioning through the NBA Top Shots. I could pull up that episode probably when NBA Top Shot first launched, sitting there unpacking that. But if you have been watching, you've noticed that hopefully the video quality has been better due to the internet. Now we can actually start running polls again and doing all this stuff. So I am going to run a poll real quick here in chat, asking how long we think the bear market is going to last, or whenever the bull market starts. I also wanted to open that up to...
I thought you were going to say, how long do we think this quick news segment's going to take? But yeah, that's a good one too. we'll do that one.
We're flying through quick news though, to be honest. Let's be honest, we got stuck on the flow topic. But the amount of news covered to the time it's taking has shortened up. And GiftEd brought out the num. Okay. All right, people want to hear about NBA Top Shot apparently because Nick Swerve is saying I've got so many packs sitting there. It's hilarious. Squashman giving us a lot of takes here, talking about his family being really stoked and nostalgic, as well as credit card payments. That was another big thing that Flo was getting into before a lot of people. Nick Swerve says there is no bottom. Prodigy saying we are doomed. 700 to 800 ETH. I gotta shut this show down. Yikes! All right,
Brothers in arms.
I'm gonna get that poll started here. Last two quick news, and this is gonna be quick for Gift Dead. This is gonna be super quick, the quickest you've ever seen. Actually, Magic Eden trials a new loyalty program. Here, they're going to give access to Magic points for every one soul traded. Users earn 5 Magic points, placing it into one of the 5 loyalty tiers. These tiers serve as a ranking system that awards users with various benefits based on their points. The higher the loyalty tier, the greater the discounts and benefits received. Magic Eden innovating here with loyalty points.
And you get an OG role on the Discord as well. Jesus. Show me the incentives and I'll show you the results, as they say, right? Let's see what happens.
It looks like a little Pokemon NFTs. All right.
So they're making up their own NFT project as the incentive that you have to grind for by buying and selling a bunch of shit during a bear market to try and get into their NFT project. Is that what we're doing?
We're experimenting with incentivization, Gift. That's what we're doing in this space right now.
You know what? Hey, you know what?
Come
good,
on,
good on that. I mean, look, we're sitting here talking about how a lot of these platforms need to find new ways to innovate. I feel like they're taking notes from Blur a little bit on this with like the different tiers of points and just like there's different care packages or whatever. That might be worth different values, and again, it's gamifying the loyalty and rewards, which I think we're going to be seeing a lot of. I think that this is sort of just the beginning of where this type of gamification goes. We were talking about gamification today on GM Web3 with Dan from Nifty Kid about they want to be offering these types of services, creator tools for you to be doing these types of incentives in your projects as well. So I don't know. I think this is just the beginning of this type of thing. Does it work? To Biggie's point, what kind of results does something like this get? I'm sure there will be some people that get into this and play along. I will not. Like, this is not enough for me to be like, hey, it's a great idea for me to be gambling more on Solana right now. Time. You know what? I should be spending my time and energy digging deeper into Solana on Magic Eden right now to try and get their made up Pokemon, their Pokemon that they're creating. That's a brand new IP that nobody cares about. Like it would be one thing if they already had a successful IP or they were partnering this with another IP. That would actually, I think, be a smarter move. If they said, "Hey, Pokemon is partnering with us on our new rewards program to launch their project. And by participating in our loyalty and rewards, you are now getting allow listed or points to mint the Pokemon." I'd be like, oh, okay. That's something that I know and that I have some sense of value for. But just making up a brand new IP and project, like, I don't know if it's going to do well. I don't know if anybody's going to care about that.
I will say the ability to have loyalty points is better than not have loyalty points in gamifying that. Makes sense as long as it's not then completely like wash trade like we see with Blur. Like there's an incentive program that's leading to a bunch of wash trading in the space. And we will see what happens to Blur once that program and that event ends. Last piece of quick news here. We do have Animoca brands and we have covered the Mocaverse here a couple times, and we've gotten some details. So Mocaverse actually came out with a tweet saying, we're excited to announce Mocaverse NFT, the official Animoca Brands NFT collection for our friends and family. That's a very key point here. Mocaverse is... Okay. Mocaverse is designed to reward builders and contributors within the ecosystem representing the shared ethos of Animoca brands. And why I said that was important is because we're going to be covering this. There's a lot of good thesis around why an Animoca brands NFT would be valuable. They have, I think Gift Dead was mentioning the actual number of projects. It's in the range of 350, and I will not get up here and stand for Yacht CU any more than I was on GM Web3 Morning Show. But this is the important piece here that we need to be looking at. These NFTs are only going to be available on primary market for Animoca brands, institutional and retail, employees of Animoca, management of teams of companies in Animoca, and partners of Animoca brands. There's an interesting piece here that I definitely want to be reaching out to Yacht, and I will definitely make that a forefront on my priority list to try to see what that entails. What does a partner of Animoca brands entails? Because we've been friends for Animoca for a while. So if you see any announcements with Mocaverse related to the Web3 network, expect something to be an announcement, whether we get it or not. I would love to hopefully open that up to our community and have these Mocaverse NFTs be available to some of the community members. But I can't promise anything. Again, we need to look at some of this stuff. Any thoughts on Mocaverse before we get into the other side? I also want to pull up a video of Yacht. For those of you that don't know who Yacht CU is, I stood up and stand for him, but I want to let him talk.
Q got real passionate about this man. Q,
he's my favorite dude in the entire space. I love Yacht.
You know what? We get a lot of shit. And by we, I mean me. I get a lot of shit for simping. But you know what? We saw Nifty Q absolutely take the simp crown, just simp out today on GM Web3. I mean, he went the full simp. Like people, you heard of the full send. Q went the full simp this morning for Yatsu. So, you know what?
To Nick Sorvis's point, and I want to hear what you got, Biggie. But Nick Sorvis saying, so we buy from them. LOL. Like that's an interesting point with this drop, and one that we were highlighting there. It's like it's not going to be a public mint. It looks like that, but again, as long as they're open and upfront with it, that I don't know what they're doing yet with them saying this is only open to friends and family. It's kind of a weird move. Go ahead, Biggie.
Is it? I mean, I don't know. I understand why, and I agree. Yacht is definitely one of those. Oh wow, Marty, coming in. Hell yeah, yeah. I think. I mean, if you're gonna bet on the gaming space in this particular realm of crypto, Yacht is definitely someone you would consider betting with. I definitely a big player there. I don't know. It reminds me a little bit of like. It's almost like I don't know what it's gonna entail, right? Like what benefits or value it's gonna come down. But for some reason, I was just thinking about like the super rare pass or like the proof pass. Like it sounds. Remember the meta key, something of the sort. And if it's backed by Animoca and it's gonna give you additional value, say in different metaverses where they hold IP and partnerships. And I can see them driving meaningful value to their holders in that respect. Again, like you said, it remains to be seen what their distribution model is going to be like. Obviously, I think the more curated and well thought out it is, the better it'll be for them. Yeah, I'm interested to see what you can get from Q for sure. But I can totally understand why you're excited, and that's definitely like, especially in these moments where I would most definitely go with Yacht versus Magic Eden coupon clipping for fucking whatever that shit was.
I mean, I agree with you.
Use of your money and time.
Yo, that's a hot take, and I love it. Yeah,
they're gonna drive value for whoever holds the damn thing. It's just whether you can get it. You know, like what's the supply going to be? I think they might have even set it on the.
And what's the
What
price?
is it 8,000? Is it
Well,
8,000?
and did you clear, like, did you hit, sorry, I zoned out for a second, but did you hit on why? It's because they have a portfolio of almost 400 projects. Did you hit on that part? Yeah. That's insane. That's so many. Like they're probably part of or behind more projects than any other company.
And even in that
this
400 list of a catalog, like I think you could easily say that at least like 10 of those projects are some of the top projects in the space that, you know, it's a solid bet they're going to be around after this bear market.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, much better bet than Magic Eden.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we'll follow
One
that, and
more
I'll
time.
message you out and see if I can get on a call with him and see if we can break that down. I don't even know 8,888. I don't know if this is partners and their communities. You know, I just don't know the detail with what that partnership talks about. Well, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll do some deep diving, see if I can get a hold of Yacht and get back to you guys. Other than getting back to Yacht, let's actually go to Yatsu. This is him on CNBC. It had to be. So this is from March 2021. Jesus Christ. Maybe not this one, but we'll see what happens. Again, partly why he's such a good steward, as Marty McFly's pointing out, which I'm vibing with you, brother, is that he explains the thesis really well, and I think that's all this clip is going to do. But we'll see.
Well, I generally would disagree with that statement, but obviously we're in the industry. I think the main thing that non-fungible tokens represents is digital property rights. One of the big issues right now is that generally on the digital world, actually people who live in it, as it were, don't own anything because everything's owned by the platforms. And the true promise of NFTs is the fact that actually it represents true ownership for the first time, one that is not controlled by the platform, but is in fact owned by the community as well as validated through blockchain. So that's really the main issue, price speculation aside.
Talk to us more about provenance and authenticity. How does it work, and what guarantee does the blockchain give you?
Right. So generally speaking, in the same way that you trust that and you understand that, you know, for instance, you receive a Bitcoin, you receive Ethereum, you know that you don't need a middleman or bank intermediary, so to speak, to validate that in fact you have this, right? And in fact, one of the biggest problems that Web 1 and Web 2 has is that when it comes to things like content, everything is replicated. The internet in the early days actually devalued content because it essentially allowed for it to be replicated like a mass photocopier. And that's okay, that's great for information dissemination. But the problem you have is when you want to send anything of value or have any aspect of value, you need an intermediary, whether it's a Citibank or PayPal or some kind of middleman that basically says you have this, right? But when you receive a bank statement, in fact, you don't know for a fact that $100 or $1,000 is in your bank account. You trust that your bank does it because it's licensed and all that kind of stuff. With blockchain, through the distributed ledger, you are ensured that the actual asset you're receiving is in fact that asset, and it's validated and immutable in the same way that Bitcoin and Ethereum cannot be hacked. Using that same technological framework, though, you can then create a non-fungible token, which essentially has attributes that are unique. The same aspect of validation can be had with non-fungible tokens. So when you receive a non-fungible token, you know that it is in fact the unique token, you know, whatever it may represent.
So that's obviously like a year and some change ago. So it was like at another time in the space when people still needed to be like explained NFTs. But what do you think, Gif?
That was clutch, because to be honest, I needed a reminder of why I'm here and what we're doing and what NFTs are. And I honestly, that was like a nice little refresher there, because I frankly had fucking forgot what the fuck we're doing here for a minute. So that was great.
Yeah, Marty McFly saying Yacht is such a teddy bear. Prodigy saying Yacht the goat, and Don R saying more Yacht always. Biggie, go ahead.
No, yeah, I think you know, I already know the answer, but if you were to be able to get him on the show again, Q, I would ask him, like, has your thesis changed at all since that interview? And I'm almost 100% certain that it hasn't. Like, that's what you get with people like them, right? Like they're able to really think long term through all these cycles, all this fucking mess that we're in right now, and see the bigger picture and stick to it, right? And I think he's been executing perfectly. I doubt much has changed since then. But yeah, like Giff said, it's always nice to hear somebody put it so succinctly, right? Like the way he did.
One of the best examples he gave to me that like really clicked is that he was talking about car ownership, and his thesis on like digital property rights is one of the reasons I simp for him so hard. But he was basically saying like the market for services of cars that can only exist if you actually own the car, right? If the government owned your car, you wouldn't really care as much about the actual quality of it. It's like one of the reasons government housing areas aren't taken care of is because they don't really have much incentive to take care of it other than the fact that they live in it.
Isn't this called the tragedy of the commons? Isn't that the economic term for this?
I'm not sure. The point that he was trying to get at was that the market to take care of cars and things that go along with cars is like 100x the actual market for cars. So once you introduce actual ownership of things, the car, the market for car seats, the market for oil changes, the market for rent-a-cars, the market, maybe not the best example, rent-a-cars, but you kind of get what I'm talking about. Once we introduce this idea that we can have property in the metaverse, you're going to start to have, multiple and 100x multiple of economies around those things, which he puts it way more succinctly than I do, but it really triggered my brain is to say, once we have ownership, that's where the economy can really thrive, because then you have all of these different services built around that ownership. What's up, Giff?
We're teaching Econ 101 here. Tragedy of the commons, a situation in which individuals with access to a public resource, aka the government-owned car, act in their own interest, and in doing so, ultimately deplete the resource. So there you go.
I think that's a little bit of what he was talking about. I would need to break that down a little bit further and see if that covers it. But
public parks are like an example of this generally, or just like different things that are free resources. They're not respected.
Yeah.
And they're not taken care of. Right.
Yep. No, I think you're totally correct. He also brought in the real estate piece. Is like when someone has ownership in their city, they oftentimes do a little bit more to see that city's value increase in value. So you could use that analogy and put it towards DAOs. Once you have ownership in a DAO, you tend to want to do things that makes that little digital city and digital tribe a little bit better. So. All right, we are gonna get
also
into
known
some of
as
these
pumping bags here, right?
True. Pump my city bags. Okay, perfect explanation. Marty McFly saying, "Tell me this guy looks like a rugger. I dare you." Nick Sarver saying, "Well, Marty, some folks used to call SBF a teddy bear. Very true.
Oh yeah.
That's why Nick Sarver is here, man." All right, Quantum Variant saying how many are rugs? By the way, I crashed in on Argentina win, Messi golden ball and Mbappe golden boot for about 1 ETH. Oh, he cashed in a bid. It looks like nice.
Dude, Drake bet $1 million on Argentina winning and took home almost $3 million off that one game.
Oh. My man needs more money.
I know. I love seeing Quantum Variant catching up to the show in the comments. So keep it coming. Keep it coming with the commentary, because my memory sucks. I already forgot what we were talking about.
We're professionals here. Well, we also have the poll. It looks like 3 to 6 months is the current winner, but please vote how long you think the bear market is going to continue to last here. And we will
3 to 6 months.
Shortly.
Y'all said 3 to 6 months.
We got bulls. We got bulls in the chat.
Man, y'all are optimistic AF. I appreciate that.
Yo, while you're voting for the poll, Gift that would appreciate if you go down there and like the video. It does help our voices get out into the metaverse, a metaverse that should be owned by the people, as Yatsu says. So thank you for liking the video. Subscribe if it's your first time here. We're here all the fucking time, every day. So please do that here shortly. All right. We made it through quick news, an hour into the episode. Welcome to the club, Daniel. Welcome to the club. Damn, Daniel Allegre, is the new Yuga Labs CEO. And this is going to be some news because he's from Activision and Blizzard. So what we have here is essentially a poach of a Web 2 exec at a large gaming company and gaming studio there at Activision Blizzard to a Web 3 project, Yuga Labs. And make sure we put in hyphenations here. It's Yuga Labs, not Bored Ape Yacht Club, not Otherside. It is the entire ecosystem being led now by this guy who was, again, a former exec. I want to check in on how long he was actually at the studio. But this is big news. This is big news for Web3. It's usually you don't see a lot of this movement, but you see it. It's news when it happens, right? Head of YouTube Gaming went over to Polygon. That was a big news when it did happen. There is both sides to any story, of course. We can get into the details here, but I think overall bullish for Yuga, for people who are interested in gaming in Yuga, I should add. But this is, I think, overall bullish for Yuga. Definitely bullish for the other side. Like that, this is crazy good news for people that were waiting on anything good to happen in the other side, which I think there is an announcement here in the next coming days on that as well. But all right, you guys fight it out. Who's got a take?
I mean, I've said all my takes, but I can say them again. I was actually enjoying Cromer's take over here because it looks like he's got some.
Hold up! You can't say there are people that just watch the YouTube show, so you have to you have to.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Hey there. I mean, look, Activision Blizzard, biggest gaming publisher in the world, some of the biggest games. They know open world, open world economies, making good games, making things sticky, how to build thriving communities at global scale. Sounds like this guy has a lot of experience with all of that, and to me, I think one of the most important things about it is it shows how committed they are to the other side and how key the other side is to the future of where Bored Apes is going. It wasn't a surprise to me. Like, it seemed like you, Nifty Q, were a little bit more surprised. Like, you thought other side was going to be kind of a sideshow to the rest, or like it wasn't going to be the main thing. Or I don't know, maybe I'm misstating that, but it sounded like you thought other side maybe was its own thing and not like the whole thing. To me, it's like other side is the primary utility. Like, that is right now the number one most important asset that they have, because if they can launch a next level metaverse game, open world metaverse game with their own token backing an in-game marketplace and an economy, it's fucking done. They're gonna make so much fucking money. They have to do it well though, and this shit's really hard. This shit is so hard. We've talked about this. It is so hard to launch a good game, to launch a big global game, a new game to a global audience. It is so hard. And add on top of that this is a metaverse, a blockchain NFT game, and all the different tokenomics and all that. It's incredibly hard. And so I'm more bullish that they are taking this super seriously and that the final product is actually going to be really, really good quality.
Biggie, go ahead.
We want them to succeed, right? We want other side to succeed. All of us. I don't care what bags you're holding. This is definitely bullish. I commend them, and I'm happy to see that, whoever's stepping down from CEO has the humility and the ability to see that at this juncture, for that project, you need somebody with a different capacity, a different set of tools, a different knowledge base, right? Because I think as like these companies grow, like sometimes you see owners or CEOs like just fucking, have the death clutch on their title and refuse to relinquish any control. And sometimes it's good, right? Like sometimes you're Mark Zuckerberg and it's your baby and whatever. You're the one to take, to be the captain of the ship. But many times I think and I think, VCs would tell you that there comes a point in a company's growth where you need to look for outside, to look to bring in some fresh minds, some different set of talents and tools. So I'm really happy to see other side be going down that path, and I'm nothing more but bullish. I do think, like Giv says, like I think Otherside for good or for bad. Like that's the play that the apes decided to go for. And I think yes, it is very hard, but again, I'm not too familiar with who Daniel Allegra is, but he's definitely coming from a company that's highly regarded, and I definitely want to see where this goes, because yes, you need to make, I do think, like you said, this is the crux of the whole BAYC ecosystem. It has to work. It needs to work. If it does not,
now more than ever,
right?
Now more than ever. I do want to hit on a couple of Biggie's comments there. Nicole Muniz is the CEO that is stepping down. So our friend, and comes from the Yuga Labs website, news.yuga.com. Our friend and confidant Nicole Muniz will stay on as a partner and a valued strategic advisor. Let me make sure I get this. Valid strategic advisor from the earliest days when we called her constantly for advice, to joining as an official partner in late 21, to becoming the company's first CEO in January 2022. Nicole's contributions helped build the infrastructure we needed to scale. We look forward to continue working closely with her. So it sounds like she was like part of an internal team. She was a strategic advisor that kind of was a stand-in or holdover until they found this guy.
Interim CEO. That's what that sounds like. Yeah, like so, they didn't go out and find this high-powered CEO and bring her in.
Yeah,
and now they've gotten to that level that they're facing scaling challenges and new problems that they can't solve internally. That's why you go out and do this. It's because you're trying to take a giant leap. You're saying, hey, we're here. We need to be a global, tech company at this level. We need somebody who's been there.
Oof. We got a lot of great comments here about this hire that we will get to. Some more controversial than others. I see you, Prodigy. Into his experience, into Daniel Allegre's experience. Daniel has vast experience scaling media and gaming companies. As president and chief operating officer at Activision Blizzard, he has helped build an impressive portfolio of gaming franchises like World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Diablo, Overwatch, and Candy Crush. He also spent over 16 years at Google, where he was the company's president of Google and strategic partnerships, president of Asia Pacific and Latin America through his career there. So extensive professional experience.
I didn't even know how deep his experience went. This guy is like a number one find for almost any tech company that's trying to create a global consumer brand. This is big. That type of experience is expensive. And the fact that Yuga Labs is now hiring literally the best in the world. Dude, if you were fucking COO of the biggest gaming publisher in the fucking world, that's running the biggest games in the world.
So a couple of things to unpack here, Gifted. I want to get back to your initial comment of like why I thought this was an interesting move into basically specifically focusing on gaming, right? Because with this hire, they are moving to hold on, man. To me, all it is a move from me understanding that, Yuga Labs and the Bored Ape ecosystem is very much focused on three things, like three main things that they are targeting, whether that be, culture, whether that be, gaming here as one of their arms. This is now primarily their main focus. That is more of what I was talking about. I know you said sideshow. I think that's a little negative. I didn't think it was going to be a sideshow. I just thought it was going to be maybe one part of a tripod of objectives that they were trying to attack. Not saying that they can't still do that, but I really thought it was going to be spreading a little bit more wide than saying we are hiring the former CEO of Activision Blizzard and we're going all in on gaming, and that's what we're doing.
See, I think that there is still a tripod of objectives. I think there is a bunch of objectives, but at the core of all of those objectives, I think is the other side, right? So whether it's ApeCoin or physical merch or events or the NFTs, like all these different things, where do they all come together? Where do they all like interchange and how do you experience them all in different places? Where's the market for all these different things where you're transacting, buying, selling? Where are you going to hang out with your friends and experience all these things? Like
But that hasn't been Bored Ape up to this point.
But this is where it's going, right? This is
agreed.
Like what is I guess like World of Warcraft might be one of the best examples that we can look at, or GTA maybe, but like GTA isn't really like a brand where you can like own something and actually participate in a like a deeper community. And they're not like, GTA doesn't host IRL concerts and like big exclusive events and like a club. So imagine like World of Warcraft, but it's a members only club that then ripples out into a bunch of other like expressions of that brand that you can engage with at different levels. Like I think what they're trying to create is something that is literally never existed before.
Yep.
Like this is gonna be a community and a brand that is technologically different, that is capitalized and financialized differently, that is owned differently and distributed differently.
Dude, I got goosebumps even hearing what you're talking about with what we think the other side could be. Don't let me like say a couple things in that dampen how I feel about it. I just think that there are Bored Ape owners. There are Bored Ape owners that are going to be upset with this because they're different. They're not gamers, like this.
But this is the thing. See, I think the one thing that you said that I disagreed with was that you said, well, they're just going all in and focused on gaming. And I think that that's kind of reducing what this guy does, right? Because he's not the guy, the creative director building out the game. That's not what he does. He builds global infrastructure and like global interactive brands, right? And so like, yes, gaming and having the game mechanics is going to be part of everything that they do. Yuga owns a portfolio of brands. Let's not forget they own CryptoPunks. They don't own Cool Cats yet, but they've got partnerships with Cool Cats. They own a whole portfolio of these different brands. So it's like Otherside is not going to be the only thing that Yuga is developing, but game mechanics will be important to a lot of what they're doing. So I think it's reductive to think that like, oh, they're just trying to turn this into a MOBA, or they're just trying to turn this into an MMORPG like
I don't think
Warcraft.
I don't think I'm going that far. I'm not saying that they're only going to be honing in on like one specific thing. I think for those of us that are really bullish on gaming, we know that that's going to be a trend in this next bull cycle. Like we're getting to the point where we can match some of those things. They have ApeCoin. They have a top 40 token that they need to address utility for. And it can't just be merch drops. I'm sorry, like merch drops are only going to go so far. They've dropped already a obscene, I wouldn't say obscene, like there's supply to match this, but they dropped a shit ton of NFTs comparative to a lot of other projects. So they can't keep airdropping NFTs. Where is the utility found? The gamers that are following Web3 gaming know that is a place where utility can be found. I get it. I get why they're moving in this direction. That was just my only question. Are there Bored Ape holders out there that are like, like this isn't where I thought Yuga was going, was hiring the Activision Blizzard CEO?
As Modi's out there like, we're getting flamed. Apparently this is turning into the
Yuga show.
Hire. It's a big hire. We covered if Cool Cats did it.
It is a really big hire.
If Cool Cats did it, we'd be doing the same shit.
It's a big hire. Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to real quick and get anybody's last takes here, but I also wanted to share this. I've been standing on this episode for a little while since we got the news, but this is Larva Labs coming on to the Yuga Lab Founders podcast. If you want to get an inside take into how the Yuga Labs, Gordon and Garga feel about gaming, this was like an ode to gaming, essentially, was the whole podcast. It was just Larva Labs and the Yuga Labs guys talking about how they all played EverQuest back in the day and how that really was the foundation of why they founded both of their companies. So I linked it in chat earlier. That's a Spotify link that takes you out to this episode. I mean, if you really want to get behind the scenes look as to why they made this move, they speak it in plain English on that podcast.
Heck yeah. Solid reference.
Biggie, any last takes? A ton of comments that I really want to get to as well. But Biggie, you got anything?
No. I'm all for it. I said what I needed to say.
Okay. Daniel Allegre is key vertical. I think Cromer's giving us some of his background there. The core WoW player base despised him for selling transmog at first. This was a take that I made on GM Web3. Prodigy is saying it as well. I know me and Prodigy are big gamers, and we play League of Legends together and some other games. All they're doing is putting a face on the guy we can blame for another shitty Web3 game. That is a pessimistic take, but that is the take that you will get from most gamers. I guarantee, like, I could hit up my cousin who's a huge gamer as well. He probably despises this guy because Activision Blizzard has not put out a really good product other than maybe Valorant in a long time. All the Warcraft expansions, all the Warcraft expansions.
I thought Valorant was Riot. But
oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. I got that confused because you were talking on Riot here earlier. So the Activision Blizzard component is probably COD. It's World of Warcraft, Overwatch, and Hearthstone are like primary games there. Listen, like the gamers community is, as everybody knows, toxic. We get it. They're super critical, but they have been extremely critical of the moves by that company. So that's the only thing I would say is like, we haven't seen a lot of like positive momentum from Activision Blizzard in a long time.
It's interesting when you bring it up in this context with how toxic and it seems just kind of endlessly unhappy a lot of the gaming community has been over the last years with the big publishers. Because to me, it's like, hey, you know where there's a lot of innovation and opportunities for more ownership and new experiences in Web3. But you know, they won't see that probably for a while. A lot of them won't come around for a while. Some of them will never come around. But yeah, a lot of great takes here. Cam Taylor has a great take. CEO of this level joining Yuga is a massive domino in the chain of top talent leaving Web 2 to come to Web 3. Shout out Cam Taylor. Great point.
Okay, we aren't going to get to the Rate My Bags Christmas edition today, but we are going to get to the community topic. I want to follow up with a lot of these great comments here. It looks like Nick Swervis is saying Fortnite style where you consistently make deals with pop culture peeps brands is what they're doing, right? That's a great comment. That is probably exactly what they're going for. I don't know if it's going to be a battle royale out the box, but Fortnite is a lot of different things, right? People can hop into that and experience a Travis Scott event. That was Biggie. Have you seen the Travis Scott event, by the way?
Yeah, I saw that.
Was it in VR? Were you wearing like your VR headset?
That was in VR. No, but I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, that's more of that for sure. That's what I'm looking forward to, right? I mean, even that trial run that Otherside did, which was very much in line with it, I thought it was great. So, yeah.
Marty McFly says, just make it Super Mario. When he hits the bricks, Ape Coin comes out. Done deal. Quantumverse asking if I'm streaming the other side. If I am, listen, I don't think I will be here where on my current location with this current setup on Christmas Eve. So if I'm not even sure we've gotten the confirmation that the other side trip is on Xmas Eve. I know they referenced the trial of Jimmy there, but I don't think we have the actual details. Prodigy saying not to even be down by it, but with every game we have tried in Web3, it's kind of the same of a letdown, and people complain about player base, but can't expect people to play a dead game. Need to have enough appeal to bring new players and keep them after. That's fair. Cam, I said I left 11 years at EA to work in Web3. So smarter people on this topic are in the chat.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. Cam's legit. One of the most badass artists, 3D artists in the space. CryptoPunks. Shout out CryptoPunks, fam.
All right. Can you talk about Talk the Throne while I pull up the community topic for today?
I will take about Talk the Throne. No, I will talk about Take the Throne. Absolutely.
Did I say that? Did I just have an aneurysm live?
Talk the Throne. Yeah. That's okay. I mean, aneurysms happen on these shows. When you fly through quick news as quickly as we did, sometimes Sometimes your brain gets scrambled. I'm gonna pull this up. Can you pull up this tab?
Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of me trying to figure out a community topic, but I can, in fact, do that. Hold on. Let me just move some things around.
Here we go. So tomorrow evening, Wednesday, December 21st at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST, Take the Throne returns with the ultimate gift-a-thon. We're partnering with Nifty Kit to do this very, very special holiday party event on Twitter Spaces. It's going to be the biggest holiday party on Twitter Spaces. And if you don't know what Take the Throne is, it's basically like Shark Tank meets Lord of the Rings meets World of Warcraft meets, I don't know, what other ridiculous comp you want to throw in there. But it's a really good time. And so we have this absolutely amazing panel of guest judges. Warhodl, Sarah Script, Cake Nygaard, whoever the fuck that is, Jimena Buenavida, Jeff Nicholas from Warp Sounds, Rebecca Rose, Nifty Q, Jessica Yatrovsky, and myself. That is, and also execs from Nifty Kit are going to be there as, yes, absolutely stacked. That's going to be the panel of guest judges on this event. And basically the way that it works is we have people come up, they get 2 to 3 minutes to pitch an idea, Shark Tank style, an NFT or Web3 idea. They get a minute or two of feedback from the panel, and then at the end, there's a big vote, and it's all anonymous, but the top 3 winners are going to take home the biggest prize packages, including Nifty Kit creator passes. So we've got a bunch of NFTs we're going to be giving away to the community, to people who show up. We're going to be doing a bunch of different activations. It's going to be fun as heck, but the biggest prize packages of the night go to the 3 winners of Take the Throne. And the way, if you've got an idea, if you want to come up and pitch, it's really easy. All you got to do is DM Jessica Yatrovsky. That is J Yatrovsky on Twitter, and just send her a 2-sentence overview, a 2-sentence concept for what your idea is that you want to pitch. And she's handling it that way. So that's it. Tomorrow night, Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST, Take the Throne, Ultimate Gift-a-thon on Twitter Spaces. It's going to be fucking epic. Don't miss it.
Love that. And with that, we will get into the community topic of the day. I want to make sure I got
before
it here.
Can we just make sure to drop this link in the?
I already dropped it
in the chat. Cool. You're fucking king.
Too quick.
Yo, you already took. Yo, the throne is yours, Q.
Too quick here. Oh, I already knew that. All right, this is what we got. The community topic, and which is yet to be named. We still want to figure out a cool name. So if you got a cool name for the community topic segment that we have, where we pull up one topic that we talk about here live on the show, chosen by you, it's going to be Nox Darkness. I missed the Clubhouse days by a little bit. I'd love to hear more about how things started there with NFTs and how and why everything moved to Twitter and Discord. So basically just a deep dive into the recent history of the last 2 years. I'm going to change this up a little bit. I basically want to kind of transition this into where we think the topics of conversations are going to be happening. Is it going to be Twitter Spaces? Is there a potential Clubhouse to kind of come in here? And then if you guys have experiences on Clubhouse back early days, I would love to hear some about that. But really, are we going to be, is Twitter Spaces going to be the spot? Is there going to be some type, could Reddit come out with, and I'm just kind of hypothetically throwing it out there, right? Could Reddit come out with a place where we can all have a Twitter Space talk? That's kind of the discussion I want to talk about. Where are the conversations going to be happening in the next years? Thank you, Nox Darkness. You won $50 worth of Ape Coin. And we're doing it every day. Not the giveaway for $50 every day, people. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit less, but we're just trying to start this new segment off. But anyways, what do we got, guys? You tell me.
Biggie, you first.
I think it's Twitter's advantage to lose, right? Or to just take the cake. So I think everything rests on Twitter, especially, what do you want to say, Q1 next year. I do think that we need to see some significant improvements or development. If not, there could be a competitor out there looking to take market share. I did not have a lot of experience with Clubhouse when it came out. I know everybody was raging about it, and I forget you had to get an invite code. It was such a pain. And then cool. I finally got one, and I jumped into a couple of spaces, and I was scared shit. I was like, what is this freaking squabble box. Like, I cannot stand it. Lo and behold, now I like them and I joined them. But I honestly think, I mean, again, lazy is as lazy does, but Twitter just works better for me. That's where I am. That's where my peeps are. So it's not easy to dethrone. And to think that I don't know, I don't see Reddit really being interested in trying to compete in that space, because their forte is like the written word. It's a lot more, it takes time to write out some of those posts and, add images and links and follow the conversation that way. I don't see them like really wanting to like deviate from what they're already kings at, which is that, like, the written word platform. And I don't like Clubhouse, so I want Twitter to win. I prefer Twitter to win, but I'll entertain you and say, let's hypothetically imagine that Twitter fails. Again, I would hate for Clubhouse to be the winner. I would much prefer, I'd rather do these things in Telegram. I'd rather do them in Instagram. I'd rather do them in Facebook. I'd rather do them in Discord.
You said Discord last there.
Whatever. I mean, it's all fucked if Twitter fails, kind of. I feel like if that happens, like, we're just going to have to like rebuild again somehow.
Discord is too sectioned off. It's like, you have to join certain servers, and so there's no discoverability. So Discord I don't see really taking that throne away from something like Twitter. The reason why Clubhouse was killing it and then faded so quickly when Twitter Spaces came along is simply because of the network effect and the larger suite of tools. It is built into the Twitter ecosystem, so the discoverability is better, the ability to like share and interact and connect with other people and do all that stuff. Because Twitter Spaces is still, I think, not a superior product or experience to Clubhouse. A lot of like, and this is like, most people from Clubhouse will tell you this, like they actually wish Clubhouse was still the place because the experience is fucking better. But because Twitter Spaces has the value of the network, of the discoverability, of the larger ecosystem that it is built directly into, it's integrated into that, that's where the value comes from, right? So it makes it really seamless to tag and like share and do all the different things that you need to do and discover and even though, again, it hasn't been a good experience, the value is there.
Doesn't make you an OG, by the way, Gift Dead. According to Martin McFly, public service announcement.
I actually believe that factually that's inaccurate, but that's fine. He can wear his tinfoil hat whenever he wants in the chat. So look, I love you, Marty. I do love you. But
we all love you, Marty.
I think Biggie is right on that. It is up to Twitter to lose this because there's no other good competitor other than Clubhouse right now. I don't think it's going to be Reddit. I don't think Discord can do the same thing. So it would have to be like there were, by the way, at the beginning of this, there were a bunch of other social audio apps that were like startups. There was one called Stereo that I was actually working on for a while before I finally said, all right, fuck it. I'll try out Clubhouse. All of those have pretty much faded. It pretty much went Clubhouse kind of won, and then Twitter Spaces destroyed. And then there hasn't really been any others that I know of that have really been competitive. So I think Telegram or WhatsApp would be the next most logical competitors besides Clubhouse if Twitter totally shat the bed.
And it's hard to see after this ginormous acquisition that somebody like Elon Musk and whoever's in there right now trying to figure out how to level this whole ecosystem up cannot see that it's obviously Spaces. Like, in my opinion, it's just like better UI, like for the emojis and for soundboards and like, for the people listening in and coming in and out. And also, I am personally, I like video. I would love for them to bring some part or some elements from the Vine days back into the Spaces option or so. I'm a fan. I'm just a fan. I know some people prefer to just keep it with the voice, and that's fine too, But I like the idea of maybe having the ability, at least, to like in certain moments when we're on Spaces where you maybe want to highlight something and a visual would just do to be able to either just more easily share that. You know, it'd be great.
I could see TikTok or Instagram if they saw Twitter really struggling and starting to fuck up. Like Meta and Mark Zuckerberg and them, they've done a really good job at attacking popular features and then duplicating them and integrating them into their shit.
But they
right?
also originally lost the lead to Twitter. Like Facebook could have been Twitter. Facebook could have been Twitter. They could have built the app in such a way like all the users were there.
I'm just saying, if they wanted to create a social audio feature and integrate it into Instagram, they could do that pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. I would like to say that I'm pretty grateful, and actually I would just say I'm very grateful for the amount of times that I don't have to deal with the toxicity and the way that a lot of other industries are that we got to see on Clubhouse when people started to like move away from that app was because a lot of what we saw was just a relentless shill. And we're, like I said, we're deep enough in the space where the people we interact with are a lot like, you know, the people that we interact with on Web3 and here, and they're all like legitimately good people trying to get after it, trying to learn, trying to do all this stuff. Those Clubhouse spaces got bad quick. And I think that's a like reflection of a lot of other industries and the people that reside in those industries. Not to be not to be flaming the outside world, but I think we have a good amount of legit people here in the space, and we got a taste on those, like, you know, when Clubhouse started to die off. But go ahead, Gif.
Well, I think a lot of that comes down to moderation. And the truth is, like, there's a big difference between a good moderator and a bad moderator. And it might not seem that obvious until you've been doing this a lot and you've been in enough spaces where you're like, why does this room's vibe feel off? Why am I hating this experience? Why do I feel like I need to leave after being in here after 5 to 10 minutes? And so much of that comes down to the people that are running the room, how they're running it, how they're setting the stage, how they're maintaining and managing the stage and their different contributors. I have to say, the Nifty Castle community that we started on Clubhouse, like, again, it all started that way, has almost always been incredibly amazing. And that was because from the start, we set a tone and then we stuck to that tone. And it was very much about empowering artists and good vibes and good people and building together. Right. So again, you know, this is like a tangent, but this gets into the whole application process, the Moonbirds, the Midnight Labs. It's like why you see a lot of these NFT projects going towards this much more highly curated sort of community building. It's to avoid that toxicity. It's to make sure that they're not just opening themselves up to a bunch of shitty flippers and negative energy that can be really cool.
We need a soundboard cue like this. That was fire, Gif. I think, dude, like that's something that just keeps on coming up and becomes more and more obvious as time goes by, right? Like these things we consider soft skills, right? Like people skills, like community moderators. Dude, if what you're trying to drive is meaningful interaction amongst a community of people, it's not an easy thing to do, but there are people out there that just have a knack for it or a talent for it, and you know, it's strange because it's not like a leadership role the way like a CEO or project leadership role might be, but it is as crucial. You know, I think like getting good mods in your discords on spaces, curating your audience, like doing it well is still undervalued, even though we're starting to recognize, like Gif is saying, how important that is. And like you see it in the communities that are able to do it well, like ours, of course. But it's important, man. And I really think it comes down to just, one, being like good human, and second of all, like not being scared to like drop that fucking slap if somebody comes in trying to talk shit or do stupid shit, which I think like a lot of people are intimidated to do, right? Like I think it's like part of that transition that we're going through. I was in another space talking about like how a lot of people don't read as much anymore, and why like short content, like whether it's video or audio, is doing so well right now. But I think when it comes to, it's also because we're leaning more towards this like Aristotelian dialogue or interactive way of like consuming information, right? Which is kind of like what we're doing right here, right? Like different points of view, having a civil conversation, agreeing with the disagree, listening to Marty's FUD, whatever. But doing it in such a way. I mean, honestly, it didn't happen before. You can almost think it's like an Aristotelian style of discourse, right? That hasn't been seen for a very long time, but was the most prevailing way of learning back in the day, and it's kind of like coming back full circle, which is really interesting. But you need good fucking mods,
and this is why we owe so much to our fearless leader Nifty Q over here. This is why they pay him the big bucks. So smash that like if you think Nifty Q is doing an amazing job as a host, as a leader of this ship, as our captain, my captain, Nifty Q. Give him some love.
I'll stand on this chair.
Yo, the chat has been absolutely fucking lit off the block today. I've been going back and like reading some of these. Cam Taylor, Squashman, Don R, Asmodai, Quantum Variant, Marty, all of y'all, man. Y'all been fucking killing it over here in the chat. So appreciate y'all.
Nox Darkness is in chat, and he was the one that won the community topic question of the day. Nox, actually, the terms and guidelines stated that you actually had to send me $50 in ApeCoin. So I'll send you my wallet.
Read that fine print, bro. Should have read that fine print.
Talking about good stewards in the space here. We're just rugging our community. Nox is saying, where do I send my wallet for the ApeCoin? I will reach out to you on Twitter via your comment. So look out for that, and then we will get into the DMs and have that combo. Marty McFly saying, check this Chat GPT. Asmodai, we used your Chat GPT. I don't know if you caught it. I don't think you were on while we were specifically live at that time, but we used your Chat GPT prompt to have one of the best CTAs of all time. So thank you for that. Squashman saying, loving having Biggie and Marty here talking about street justice. Definitely think there are keyboard warriors influencing their space that deserve an IRL check.
100%, Squashman, 100%. We would all be better for it. I'm convinced.
All right, folks, we are going to get out of here. This is our standard quick episode for Jacob to cut up, so we appreciate you as always, my man behind the scenes. We're going to go out to some Christmas music here. We got the whole
Jacob
setup. Biggie, you're like,
if we can get this video to 25 likes, Nifty Q might actually go to ETH Denver. Let's get Nifty Q to ETH Denver. Like the video. We got to get it to 25 likes, and Nifty Q will actually put in his application and maybe go.
If it doesn't get to 25 likes, I can't go. Is that the precedent we're setting right now?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Buffett Coin might be watching.
Yeah. If this video doesn't get to 25 likes, Nifty Q is going to resign as CEO of this show.
Of Yuga Labs. Okay, yes. All right, folks, thank you for tuning in to NFT Live today. We do this every day starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, going for as long as it fucking takes to give you the good news, the good word. We appreciate you tuning in here today. Our Vibe, our tribe. Peace out.